And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Go to the website. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or head on down to Dayton, Kentucky. See Shane and our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Tell them to pump it up. They will save you 15% off of the Galactic goodness. It is out of this world. All right, Aaron, let's get down to business. It is a Thursday night. For everybody, if anybody's wondering, never fear. Chris Lepore was a little busy yesterday, today, and tomorrow, so we didn't get to tape during the day like normal. But Chris and I are going to tape tonight the breakdown, so you will get your video breakdown for this week. It has just not happened yet, but it is coming. So good news on that front.
Yes.
And then it is Big 12 Thursday, which means we take a look at the week that was. And Aaron, I don't know if you've peaked yet. Saturday is a monster slate for the Big 12.
I've been looking at it for about the last 5 minutes, but it's there's some pretty good matchups here for sure.
There's ranked matchups. There's, potential pothole matchups where a team could stub its toe on the road. There is just a lot of good ball coming up on Saturday. So I am excited for that this weekend. I don't think I have a whole lot to do Saturday. So I'm looking forward to being able to just kind of hang around the house, watch a bunch of basketball. But let's get to the week that was.
Let's
started off on Monday. Houston goes into Texas. Made it super interesting, especially late in the second half, but it ends up in overtime. And Jamal Shed with 25 is the difference. Houston hangs on and takes down Texas in Austin 76-72. I don't know if you got the chance to watch this one, Aaron. I watched some of it after we got done with the BCJ. Watched the second half. Texas had an interesting strategy in that they just went all out, like deny, do everything you can to keep the ball out of Jamal Shed's hands. And it messed up the Houston offense pretty significantly.
Jamal Shed fouled out in this one.
They frustrated him. They frustrated him big time.
Francis also do you pronounce it? Is it Javier?
I don't. Javier or whatever. I don't know.
But he also fouled out, one of their bigs. But obviously Shed being the bigger of those two. As far as more important, Disu also fouled out. There are a lot of fouls in this one, 36. Houston getting called for 20. It seems like the league is finally we're in a league where people call fouls on Houston, right?
Yeah, that's nice. That's been nice. The fascinating thing for me is Texas took a guy, Chendall, which is, maybe that's my new alias, Chendall. Chendall Weaver, who averages 4.5 points and 2.4 rebounds on the season. And they basically just said, you look Jamal Shed in the eyes every time Houston is on offense. And he didn't, he was like this. Shed didn't have the ball. The play was behind him. He was like this, like they teach you in like third grade when they're just teaching you basketball. That's all he did. Just like this the whole time.
The equivalent of something like that would be just doing that with Josh Reed, right?
Yeah, this kid was smaller, and you would have to do it with like Day-Day, I think.
Or Jizzle.
Yeah, one of the two. Like you just put him on him and say, don't let him get it back. Make them run their offense without the head of the snake. It was brilliant. It didn't,
he still got 24 shots up.
This was mostly, though, like the last 10 minutes of the game, last 10 minutes of regulation and then into overtime. They kind of brought it out. And that's what allowed them to kind of catch up and take it to overtime. But I know it's a fascinating thought. Like, that's all this guy does. He's just there basically for defense.
It still didn't work. I mean, Houston still gets the win. Shed still got 25 and 8.
Yeah, but he got 25 on 25 shots. Like,
that's
you'll
true.
take that. You'll take
That's
that. But Houston's starting to Houston. So we'll see them in, 9 days, 10 days, whatever it is.
I want to skip that game. I don't even want to watch it.
Oh, yesterday or Tuesday, excuse me. Kansas dominates Oklahoma State 83-54. Oklahoma State kept trying to like hang around, and Kansas just like big brothered them, just kept them at arm's length while Oklahoma State's doing a bunch of this. What you expect there? Maybe go ahead.
I was just gonna say Oklahoma State. I think they'll be far better next year once they have this year behind them and this year of experience behind them.
Both agree on that.
But yep, they weren't able to build on any of that momentum from their one conference win.
Yeah. I guess maybe the surprise of the week, TCU 85-78 over Texas Tech. Look, I thought Texas Tech played well and TCU played better.
Put up 78. I mean, and we know how TCU plays.
Yeah. That is and we'll find out Saturday. That is a Texas Tech team that is not crazy talented, but you know what they don't do, Aaron? They don't hurt themselves. They don't turn it over a ton. They're number one in the league in free throw shooting. They make open shots. They make you beat them.
Chad, their point guard in this one, though, Toussaint, who's been real outstanding. He's been outstanding this season. 8 turnovers in this one.
Yeah, he struggled.
Whew.
But for the most part, that's what Texas Tech does to you. They just beat you with consistency. If Cincinnati's going to win on Saturday, they are not going to be able to have those really long lulls because Texas Tech will pull away and put you away. So
Pop Isaacs played all 40 minutes. He had 25 points and 9 assists. Dude's a monster.
Aaron, if John Newman can't play,
I'm terrified if John Newman can't play.
It's not going to be pretty if John Newman isn't there to guard Pop Isaacs, unless Dan or Josh or somebody just plays out of their mind. But that dude is a tough guard. And if you give him, we saw, when John Newman came out and Dan Skillings gave Raekwon Battle 3 inches, Raekwon Battle hit the shot. Pop Isaacs will hit that shot regularly if you give him 6 inches of airspace.
I'm curious, though, if John's not able to play, given that Pop Isaacs and Toussaint is a true point guard.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we see maybe Day-Day match up on Pop Isaacs and see more of that Day-Day and Jizzle if John's not able to go.
You might. The other game on Tuesday, Oklahoma 73, Kansas State 53. At Kansas State, like
crazy.
Well, the thing is, Aaron, Kansas State's offense is bad. Like their defense, they're a solid defensive team, but their offense is on the struggle bus right now. So that's the only way that really makes sense.
Only one player in double figures.
Yeah.
30% from the field. Woo.
Yeah. Well, we're familiar.
14% from 3 on 28 threes. I would have lost all of my mind.
And then the only other game yesterday that wasn't Cincinnati, West Virginia, Baylor 77-69 over UCF.
Nice.
UCF had it close. I think they had the lead with like 6 or 7 minutes left, and then Baylor put it away down the stretch.
Yeah, Diallo does not foul out in this one, but a shell of himself. Only 4 of 7 with 8 points, and still three fouls, only 5 rebounds. So not sure what's going on with that dude of late, but yeah, I mean, nothing else really standing out from anyone. Marcellus Avery continues to be shooting well. 16 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 23 minutes. So it wasn't a complete anomaly against Cincinnati. He's used it to build momentum, gain confidence.
He got buried. Then 2 guys got hurt. Now he's saying, hey, put me back in the damn rotation.
Yeah, I think it'll be hard for Scylla to garner minutes if Avery continues to play like this off the bench.
The problem is Scylla is kind of like their defensive, like he's the head of the snake that has them in the top 10 in defense. But you can't score.
No points on 1-3.
Let's get to Saturday.
Let's.
2:00, ESPN2, Texas at TCU. I still contend I think TCU can make a play to win this league, to win a regular season championship, or be right there as a top 2 or 3 seed. That starts with beating Texas at home on Saturday. That would move them to 6-3, and get them right there with Houston, Iowa State, Texas Tech.
Yeah, after all of the ridiculousness this season that has gone on with horns down, I want Texas to lose every single game. So I will be rooting for TCU in this one. Also, TCU is a hard team not to like. They do everything the right way. So yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be terribly upset at all to see TCU win this one.
And Emmanuel Miller is a guy that Cincinnati fans should appreciate because he plays like the greats that UC has had. That's why I love watching him play. Game 2. This one is maybe the most interesting game of the day, Aaron. Kansas State at Oklahoma State.
Queen of the Pigs.
I mean, we keep waiting kind of for Kansas State to get some momentum. It has not happened. And Oklahoma State has not been a slouch at home. And they're not great, but they put up a fight in Gallagher-Iba. That could be a fascinating one.
Not that any of us put a ton into what ESPN's analytics say on the predictor here, but Oklahoma State is given a 38.5% chance to win this game. I think Oklahoma State's kind of become the laughingstock of this conference, but they're just young. I don't think they're bad. They're fun to watch. And to your point, Kansas State, while they've won some games for sure, I don't know that they're not a juggernaut. They're not a top 5 team in this conference in my eyes. So I would not at all be surprised to see Oklahoma State upset and win this one at home.
Oklahoma State's got a little pop offensively. They can score.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if Kansas State has another one of those nights where they score 53 points, we might be talking about an Oklahoma State win when we reconvene on this show Sunday night.
There's way more energy in that Fieldhouse Coliseum, whatever it is called, as opposed to West Virginia last night. I didn't think there was much energy out of West Virginia at all. So
no. The big one in the league this week.
Biggest.
Houston, 4 p.m. ESPN. Houston at number 8, Kansas. Who, buddy?
You're at home. You're Kansas. You want to be looked at as the best team in this conference. And if you drop this one, Bill Self doesn't lose at home. Start there. But if you lose this one at home to Houston, then I think you have just given up the crown, and you have heralded Houston as the new king of this conference.
I think Houston wins this game. I think just from the standpoint of Houston's playing better basketball right now. Now, does that mean Kansas can't win this game? No, but the way Houston defends, the lack of depth that Kansas has, and the ability to withstand those waves that Houston comes at you in, I think I'm going with Houston.
Well, ESPN would agree with you, as they're at a 75% clip on this one. And
75%?
yes, they're giving Houston a far better odds. Even Kansas has less chance to win this game than Oklahoma State does to upset Kansas State, if that tells you anything. What's Ken Palm say on this one?
I haven't looked at it. I mean, I think it would have Houston as the favorite because Houston's number 1 in Ken Palm.
Just curious. While you look that up, I'll preview the next one. Oklahoma at 4:00. They are the 23rd ranked team coming into Orlando, where they will face off against UCF. UCF has not been faring well in this in-conference slate, although they do have some pretty big upsets. I still don't believe in Oklahoma. I don't know how you feel about Oklahoma. ESPN's giving UCF a 52% chance to win this one. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a coin flip game. We'll see.
I mean, I'd feel better if I knew the injury status of a couple guys for
From
UCF that have been out.
Yeah. I don't think Oklahoma matches up well against UCF.
I don't either.
Even
I don't either.
If they were running the same UCF team that Cincinnati just played against with the injuries.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that's going to ring true, much like the Cincinnati game for UCF, is Oklahoma's got a really good defense, and UCF's offense is
not good.
Typically not good. But at home, I wouldn't be shocked to see UCF win this game.
Well,
I'm with you. I credit Porter Moser what he's done with that team to get them to where they're at. Because when I watch them, they don't pop. They don't jump off the screen for me. They're solid. They're fundamental. They look a lot. You know, they play differently than Moser had his Loyola teams playing, obviously, because he's got more athletic talent now. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if UCF wins that. Cincinnati, Texas Tech, 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. The other 6 p.m. game, another interesting one, Aaron. BYU at West Virginia. I think BYU kind of rolls here.
I mean, I think we're all rooting for BYU, right? Like, Cincinnati needs BYU to win this game. Otherwise, that win against BYU is not looking nearly as good as it did before losing to West Virginia.
In terms of metrics, they're still top 10. So I agree with the public perception of that win. But in terms of like what actually matters, I think there's still 7 in the net. So like, that's still an elite team, and it's a loss to West Virginia on the road wouldn't change that. But I get what you're saying in terms of like the perception of BYU changes with a loss at West Virginia.
For this fan base, I think the fan base would absolutely freak out if BYU loses to West Virginia, and then
and then the night game, another huge one.
Yeah.
Iowa State at Baylor, ESPN2, 8 p.m. I think I might go Iowa State there.
Well, I want Iowa State to win selfishly because I don't want Iowa State to feel wronged in this conference for losing a game right before Cincinnati plays them in a game. I know that you have a little bit of you have
2 games,
a little break
between now. Yeah,
sure. But I'm still of the mindset that I don't want to face a team that feels wronged or that they lost a game that they shouldn't have. I feel like we've had to do that a couple times already through this conference slate. I really
welcome to playing in this league.
I don't want another one.
Yeah, I feel you.
Did you end up finding the Ken Palm for?
I think
Houston,
it's like 5.
Kansas?
I don't know how to factor in the home. Like what the variance is for a home game. I think Houston will be favored though by a little.
I was just
78%.
Brent's usually like here's the score. Pop, pop. I didn't know if they just had that on there. Or...
If you have a membership, I'm sure they do. I don't have one.
Gotcha. That's where they get you.
Yeah. But 78% is, that's a lot. That's a big. We're gonna do a show here soon on all the NIL stuff that's going around. It's pretty wild, but we don't have time. I don't think
we're at 20 minutes
tonight.
No, not tonight.
But there's a fight brewing, and this one's going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one because did you see Danny White, Tennessee's AD?
No, I not today. I've been a little busy with kids today. What have you?
He basically came out and said, "Hey, NCAA, you're trying to cook us for stuff that happened like in the new rules under the old rules, and that ain't how it works. You can't,
they're trying to make they're trying to make examples out of the wrong people. Florida State's probably still pissed about everything going on with the NCAA violations from a couple months ago now. You mess with Tennessee, and Tennessee, they're not afraid to throw some money at Attorney General coming at them. Paired up with what other state was
Virginia.
it? Virginia. All right.
Virginia.
Yeah.
They're going to be a fight.
There's going to be some others that aren't afraid to put their names in that ring.
Right. So we will get to that. If not this weekend, we'll get to it early next week. And who knows what's going to play out within the next 4 or 5 days by the time
at least we got Tuesday's show worked out at this point.
Yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up. We will see you Saturday. Hopefully not a therapy session. No therapy Saturday. Hopefully a celebration. It's a celebration. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.